Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. What do we do now? Shui Ruohua turned to Zhuo Fan, as did the others. All that happened cemented their trust in Zhuo Fan, even mystical heaven sex group. Zhuo Fan answered, "Know thyself and your enemy, and you shall be ever victorious. So before we try tackling the problem, we must know what we're dealing with. I sensed something wasn't right about this place but didn't have the details. We clear this up, and then we can act." Zhuo Fan went back inside with the rest. While the barrier grew smaller from the thick fog, sizzling. It's like this. In the Glum Inn, they all sat around a table with a single candle. Kuei Lang's gang was not included, warming up at the side to keep the blood flowing and the stiffness at bay. They added the musical element to the situation, by the cracking of bones and snapping of muscles, an eerie vibe all in all. Shui Ruohua felt a shiver on her back, doing her utmost not to watch those creepy things crackling. We set off for Double Dragon Gathering a fortnight ago. As we passed through here, we stopped at a tavern, where we met a red-haired youth with sinister eyes, a demonic cultivator no doubt. It's definitely the work of demonic cultivators. Zhuo Fan and the fiends shared a glance. The youth was pushy with our sisters, so young master shouted at him, which made him angry. Unable to do anything since we had 3 elders with us, he left. What we took as fear turned out to be a plan for the next morning. Everyone in town was gone without a trace. The elders urged us to leave, but young master was gone as well. Zhuo Fan asked. Shui Ruohua grieved, "Yes, young master is weak from illness. And now that he's gone, we're worried sick." We looked everywhere but found nothing while the elders vanished one after the other as well. Every time we went searching we got fewer and fewer. All we could do was set up a barrier and search only during the day. Playing cat and mouse. Zhuo Fan called out what the fiends were thinking. Shui Ruohua asked, "What's that?" "It's a game. A cat plays with the mouse once it catches it rather than eating it right away, relishing in its victims' every expression of agony." Zhuo Fan grinned, "Why would the culprits pick you out a couple a day when they had no trouble taking every townsfolk and your elders? Taking you all prisoners would be far too easy. But instead, they let you experience dread like no other, living in fear day after day. That's playing cat and mouse." Mystical heaven sex hearts sank and nodded. Zhuo Fan sighed, "I used to play this game when I got bored, but now it lost its thrill." Heroes do the same. We used to mess around as well, but ever since becoming venerables, we didn't have the time and lost interest. Fiend Yang laughed, "To be frank, back in the day I'd find myself an eyesore and mess around with him for kicks." The 4 nodded and laughed. Shui Ruohua's side was sullen. "Sickos. Humph, no demonic cultivator is any good. You're all vile for toying with someone's life." Dan reproached. While the 4 stayed silent, Kuei Lang felt the need to answer, crying next to the lass, "Damn right, you are all so evil, doing this to us. I can't take it anymore." "Oh, there's someone wise among demonic cultivators?" Dan looked shocked and amazed, but then felt the need to strangle him by what she heard. "Can you stop with the peeling, flaying, and whatnot? How fun is that anyway? Is it fun wasting time over nothing? I just knew you're all lost causes." Dan wailed. Zhuo Fan's side laughed. He sure liked poking fun at the lass, girly, even demonic cultivators have gentlemen and thugs. Kuei Lang here is in the latter category. Unlike us men of culture and refinement, savoring the person's prolonged agony, relishing their every cry. Zhuo Fan's group laughed along with each other, making Dan feel worse as she hugged Chu Qingcheng for comfort. "Sister, how can humans be like this? Didn't I tell you they were bad? Learn to accept it." Chu Qingcheng snapped a glare Zhuo Fan's way. Zhuo Fan quibbled with an arched eyebrow, "Why are you looking at me? I'm only helping some panicky sisters young master on account of the happy times back then. Though I reckon he's dead by now." "So you admit it now?" Chu Qingcheng beamed at him with a warm gaze. Skipping over the life of a poor man on the line here, she went straight to the two's comings and goings. Zhuo Fan spoke with pride, of course. First things first, the kid loves playing around, with a calm mind and sharp intuition. Or he'd have snuffed you all out the minute you butted into his play instead of taking one a night. He took your crippled young master to trap you here and let him have his fun at your expense. You are not to talk bad about young master, he is only ill. You said it yourself, he's in poor health, so what's it to me? Zhuo Fan's voice cut Dan's sharp reprimand on the spot, letting her choke on her words. Dan turned a pleading look to Chu Qingcheng, but she giggled. Steward Zhuo is so wise and experienced in the ways of the world. As a senior, I can tell with ease what his damn game is. Just how many times have we done it in our days? Fiend Yang replied to Zhuo Fan in pride, so true, and the kid sure feels like an expert in his games. Having no setbacks so far, his heart must be brimming with pride and confidence. We've gone through too many hellish matters to keep our inner child naive and playful. That's why I've been saying we no longer play these games. We're better off cultivating our strength. Zhuo Fan nodded sagely. The kid is green at heart, making his pride leave holes in his grand plan. Shui Ruohua watched in absent shock how these devilish people unraveled everything. She had to admit, against some toying demonic cultivators, these old veterans right here were the best men for the job. Unlike them, losing their heads the instant young master was gone and playing further in the enemy's hand. Fiends aside, why was it the young Zhuo Fan who gave her the feeling he was more shrewd and sharp than these oldies? It gave Zhuo Fan an air of mystery, deadly for young maidens such as herself. Zhuo Fan was like a throne buried under the sea she just had to uncover. That settles it. Zhuo Fan eyed everyone. The guy must have pushed you close to insanity these 2 weeks. He cleared the town to set the mood and give him an edge in achieving his goal. It was just then we walked in, and an ignorant lass saw my stiffies and jumped to conclusions in fear that I was the culprit. So she ran at me like a crazy broad with pointy metal. You're the crazy one. Dan bit back. Zhuo Fan smiled. No one crazy would have seen the 3 ethereal stage experts around me, yet you just came on stabbin'. Are your eyes for decoration, fool? Sister Qingcheng, he's mocking me. Dan whined and Chu Qingcheng smiled, patting her shoulder. She then eyed Zhuo Fan. I'm curious though, what's up with them? Just like you, disobedient, and now their punishment is my joy. Zhuo Fan showed his pearly whites. Mystical Heaven Sex Gang shuddered, looking at the stiff group. All demonic cultivators are vile and cruel. This was worse than them being toyed with.